Good morning. Welcome back into Wake Up America. I'm Rob Finnerty. Republican New Jersey Councilman Russell Heller was shot dead in his car. Police identifying the suspect who was found dead in his car 3 hours later. After the murder, this just 1 week after one of his colleagues, 30-year-old New Jersey City Councilwoman, also a Republican, Eunice Junkford, was found dead in her car in front of her house. Police say there's no connection between these two Republicans being shot dead. They happen less than 15 miles apart from each other. Joining us now from Reaction, retired FBI agent, former Navy SEAL Jonathan Gilliam. Jonathan, quite a story yesterday. So the suspect apparently killed himself after the murder. Authorities say the two murders not connected in any way. Do you buy that?
Well, I do in the case that, they do have the murder suspect for the gentleman from New Jersey. To my knowledge, they have not caught the individual who shot the female a week or so before. So I'm sure the law enforcement knows more than we do. I hope they know more than we do. And I think in this case, although as strange as it may sound, this sounds like there must have been a relationship between these two individuals of some kind and some type of a beef between these two men. And I would have to say that the way that the other one was carried out, the fact that she was shot so many times in the face, that seemed like a personal issue as well.
Yeah, and
but I
haven't
heard I haven't heard anything about the individual that shot this councilman being associated with the other killer.
So Eunice Junkford, and we talked about that about 10 days ago. Still no motive, no suspect in that case. There's some video of somebody running down the street. We assume that might be somebody involved with that shooting. But here we go. We've got two dead Republican elected officials, 10 days apart, just miles from each other. Do you think these might have been targeted attacks? Do you think these could have been politically motivated?
I just don't know. I don't think we have enough. I mean, yes, they could have been, but we just don't have enough information to make that that connection. I think it is very strange that they were both shot in their cars. But this one seems almost personal, and to the point where they knew each other, but both of them seem personal.
All right,
they both seem very personal. And I think the other one, again, the way that she was shot, but I don't see a connection at this time with the information that we have besides just a coincidence.
We'll keep a close eye on those two cases as they develop. Just a miraculous coincidence if that is in fact the case, though, either way. Yesterday, a congresswoman from Minnesota, Angie Craig, was assaulted around 7:15 in the morning. She was getting out of her elevator in her apartment building in Washington, D.C., a pretty upscale apartment building, by the way. Apparently it was a homeless guy. She defended herself by throwing coffee in the attacker's face. If this can happen to a sitting member of Congress, this can happen to anyone. Is this just another example of what has gone on with crime in this country under Joe Biden?
Well, when you have to, I lived in New York City for 15 years in a high-rise building with doormen. I love my doorman, but it was not uncommon for somebody to get into my hotel and my apartment complex and try to get in apartments. They would wiggle the doorknobs to see if anybody was in there. So that, number one, you just because you live in a high rise doesn't mean things won't happen. And you have to have a plan on how to act, especially if you're a congresswoman or congressman. You're a target, and people need to realize that they could potentially be a target. So it's possible. And it sounds like she had a weapon, and that weapon was hot coffee. So it does pay to be prepared and think these things through long before they occur. That's really the best way that you're going to have to act instead of just react when something like this occurs.
Non-leadership members do not have any private security or any security assigned to them, by the way.
Nor do we.
Yeah, exactly, nor do we. Quickly, 15 seconds on the Super Bowl. It's always a big event, 1 million people traveling to Arizona for this thing. Any security threats that you're keeping an eye on?
No, not at this point. Other than the fact that whenever there's a Super Bowl, there's a ton of prostitutes, strippers, and criminals that will merge into that area because it's a week-long event. So people need to keep a close watch, and Phoenix is a very laid-back area for most people, but they need to look at Phoenix right now like they would look at New York, and they need to be very careful of who they trust while they're there this week.
Yeah, by the way, it's warmer this morning in New York City than it is in Phoenix, Arizona. We'll see if that lasts through Sunday. Jonathan Gilliam, have a great weekend. Enjoy the game. Thank you. Alex?
You got it. Thank you.